Or the question has to go out. Even if it doesn't stop, let's talk about the benefits of it. Let's talk about why we're doing it. That's my thing. Nobody even explores other options. A lot of African American parents will use this phrase, "He know better." He know better.
I mean, first of all, you guys, okay, you have to realize.
And then you go back and you think, when did you teach me this? When did
that's what I'm saying. You got to realize. First, you got to realize this is a child that you're dealing with, right? Okay, so how can you just assume that your child knows better? I mean, if you're the parent, so you know you haven't taught your child or not.
I can give you a few quick examples. Like, for instance, what you were saying as far as discipline, or if you take martial arts or any form of what they call a discipline.
Self-defense. Self-defense. By the way, self-defense. If you're talking about martial arts, then we're talking about self-defense, and that's very interesting.
No, I know where he's going. I understand where he's going with this discipline.
Just listen for a second, because what I'm saying is real simple. Even in that, you have your rewards when you do something right, and if you do something wrong or if you step out of line, there is degrees of punishment. There is degrees of discipline. Plain and simple.
You sound like a dog trainer.
We're not saying that every degree of discipline should be the first thing you do. Is no one's saying that. What we're saying is that there's a time and place for everything. There is a time and place for everything.
We're
not saying it's the default rule. It's not. I don't think discipline is.
I have examples of where my mother actually waited to. I thought everything was good. I thought I got away with everything. Come on, we got to remember when we was kids, because when we stop playing games, we got to remember those meetings where we thought we got away. We knew we was doing something wrong. We knew our moms and our pops told us, don't do this, that, and the other thing, because if you do, this is what I'm going to do. Plain and simple. If you do this, this is what's going to happen. Sometimes it was if you do this. Sometimes it was if you do this. You're not going to be able to go outside.
Michael, can I just say one thing to add to your equation? Can I just say one thing to add to your equation? Like, you do this, I'm going to give you this, and then what is the goal in that situation? Can you finish that equation with the goal of? So basically you're saying it's cause and effect. The child knew if they commit this act, the parent's going to issue a whooping, and then what's the goal in that action from the parent's perspective?
The goal in the action is this is a part of life. Life will teach you cause and effect one way or another. You either learn it early or you suffer from it later.
Michael, can I jump in for a minute, please? I have to take look, and we do have a caller also. Hi, caller, just please be patient. I have to take umbrage with that. That it's a part of life.
Cause and effect?
No, not cause and effect. No, get
That's
your
what I was saying is a part of life. That's what I was saying is a part of life, though. Cause and effect. Only cause and effect.
I don't think that's a proper example of cause and effect, because I can honestly say this, and I think I can speak for you also. I consider you to be a fantastic person, and I consider myself to be a pretty fantastic person, too. I don't think that the fact that I got my behind beat when I was a kid, that contributed to me being a great person. I think I'm a great person because of who I am. And the lessons that I really need to learn in life, and that, the mistakes that I've made in life that I continue to make, that I pay the price for right now, my getting my ass beat didn't save me from any of that. It was completely unrelated.
But it saved you from being a thief. And it saved you from being a murderer.
No, it didn't.
It saved you from doing a whole lot.
Exactly. Hold up. That's my point exactly. It did not save me from being anything that I wasn't going to be anyway.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree with that.
We have no way of quantifying. None of us have any way of quantifying.
I do not agree with that.
I agree with you on that line.
Murder is bad.
We gotta be real, though.
I think a lot of things that you can think for when you were a child somehow some way relate to a bigger picture later on in life, and you may not understand it when you're younger, but by the time you get older, it correlates with some key lessons that you needed to learn as an adult, because we live in a society where there are rules, and you can't just do as you feel and do as you want. And when you do something wrong, there are consequences.
The other
aspect that we're missing too, because we can't talk about it as if it's in a vacuum. There's the saying that says it takes a village to raise a child. So when we were growing up, it wasn't just the fact that your parents would be the ones that would be administering the said ass whipping. It would also be someone who knew your parents or someone who knew the parents. So the ability to escape it wasn't just, but again, what we need to do, we need to get a ass whooping barometer and kind of, so we can kind of chart one. Because we don't have any way of saying how well an ass whooping has actually done, if it's done any benefit or more harm, because we're not quantifying or there's nothing that kind of gauges it from the time that the ass whooping is administered to the time a person is an adult.
Okay,
so we need to put some study into that. That's an important study.
There are people in jail right now who got their butt beat. Probably.
And those are the few. That's not the majority. Those are the few that it did not work for.
Right, I'm sorry, can I pause?
Those are the few that it did not work for.
Can we get to the cult, Mr. Rodriguez? Thank you so much for your valuable opinions.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling in. Thank you for calling in.
You guys have a blessed night. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless
You're welcome.
you.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
We've got a couple of more callers, and I'm going to try not to screw this up. Okay, for some reason I'm sorry, I'm really not a master on this switchboard. Okay, we're going to try another caller.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to Inspirit Talkradio.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, who's this?
I think that was one of us saying hi.
Oh, what's up, Harrison? That is so sad. Okay,
You see, Leslie, this is why you need to answer.
It was like, hello. It was like, hello, how you doing?
Okay. I want to get back to the point, guys. Because this is just so interesting, and I love what everyone is saying and putting on the table. I think it's very, very fascinating. And I want to go back to the point about, this teaching someone something through hitting them. And the thing is that, I remember, because my dad we are from the Caribbean. My father, if you were a Trinidadian person growing up in my generation, your father he probably beat you. that was a norm. That was like, exactly, licks. No, we call it licks. You get licks.
Okay.
So, and that was part of my growing up, and I remember one day at around, I was around 10. I think the last time I got licks from my father. And I remember that really feeling emotionally that I did not care how much he would hit me ever again, because it just didn't matter to me. I was so angry.
That was like my...
At that, yeah. And I was just like, I went to live with my grandparents shortly thereafter, so I was physically actually removed from my family's house. And I tell you, if I wasn't, I would have probably it was either my father or me that would have ended up dead in that scenario. Yeah? So there are people whose spirits, and that's the thing about it, is that I felt that my spirit was being broken every time. And it wasn't just my spirit. It was my father's. It was my mother who was looking on. It was my brother and sister. Everyone was participating in this, and it was under the guise of, even if I talk to my mother about it today, she's like, yeah, but Leslie, that's what everyone did. That's like, the Caribbean. Hello.
Right.
So it's just like, so I feel really, really strongly about, being a parent and actually, I did, and it's really interesting because I ended up in a country where it is illegal to hit your children. And when I heard that, I was so relieved because Yeah, exactly. I was still relieved because I was like, okay,